Hi guys, Emily here with another video about reading intervention, and it's been a little bit of a while. So thank you first of all for subscribing to my channel and giving my videos a like. I am super excited to connect with some of you. I love the emails, I love the comments, so keep them coming. And if you'll stick through to the end, I'd love to tell you a couple things that I have going, kind of some exciting things happening in my world. So I would love to kind of fill you in on that. Now, today's video is going to be specifically for those of you that are not necessarily new to education, but you are new to reading intervention. So you may have been in the classroom for a number of years, you may have had a ton of experience, but your role is changing and shifting at either your school site or in your district. And so first of all, congratulations, because intervention is a great place to be, in my opinion. And I hope today I can give you some points to consider, some tips, some strategies, that sort of thing, so that you can kind of use a little bit of your summertime to kind of get on the right track. Okay, so that being said, first thing is, I want to talk to you about the gifts that you are bringing to your intervention program as a person who is not new to education. So you may feel like a rookie right now. And I know, because I'm, 25 plus year veteran, and every time you take on a new role, you're entitled to feel like a rookie. That's okay. Everybody deserves the year. But what's different with your position, being that you have so much experience in the classroom or in a school, is that you are coming in with certain gifts that brand new teachers that have never been in the classroom don't have. So let's recognize some of those. The first thing that you need to recognize that you have that others may not is authority. Now, I don't mean authority over what's happening necessarily at your site, but you have learned how to manage a classroom and how to manage your students. And that is going to be super valuable to you as you begin this new journey as a reading intervention teacher. You still have to manage kids. You still have to have authority and a presence. And that is something that comes with some experience and some background. And so you are definitely bringing that. Now, if you are on the same site that you have been on for a number of years, let's say, you're probably coming in with a certain level of respect from your colleagues and your administrators. Again, this is really valuable for you to have, even though you're going to feel a little like out of sorts for a little while. There are people at your site that have faith in you, that you are the right person for this job. So hang on to that, even during those moments that you are feeling like a rookie, because there's a learning curve, but the respect and the authority that you bring with you to this position are going to be really helpful. Now, something else that I want you to take from your classroom and into your intervention is your confidence. This confidence is almost that show that you can handle what is coming, because this is going to be new and there are going to be challenges and you are going to be learning as you go. You are entitled to that this first year, but hold on to the confidence that you have. And I want you to still present that confidence to your staff, even in those moments where you're feeling like, I'm not really sure. Okay. We need to come at this with a certain level of confidence that if you don't know the right answer, you don't know the direction, that you are the person who is going to seek the answer. So hang on to your confidence. And then finally, your classroom management skills are a gift that you are bringing into your intervention programs. Now, some things are going to be slightly different because you are going to be working in small groups and perhaps managing a team of paraprofessionals or teachers' aides, but there is so much that comes along with your management. You understand how to organize a classroom, you understand how to organize your record keeping system. All of those things are definitely important to you coming into reading intervention. So those are things that you don't have to relearn. And that's really great, because there are going to be some things you're going to need to relearn. In fact, Let's talk next about what it is from the classroom that you're going to have to unlearn. Now, this might be hard and I might kind of ruffle some feathers here, but hopefully the smile on my face shows you that I mean it with love. So some things that you have to unlearn if you are coming in from an elementary classroom into a reading intervention, first is leveled reading. I know I said it. Leveled reading, in my opinion, it does not belong in reading intervention. Sounds crazy, right? But let me tell you what I mean by that. So much of the leveled reading systems that we have us assess a student to a certain level of text, whether a level H, a level G, whatever it may be. And then the prescription to going through that particular, to get through that level is basically to continue to read at that level. And this is really counterproductive. What these types of systems lack is the ability to really pinpoint why a student is in a particular level to begin with. More level G doesn't get a kid out of level G, right? That's what I'm trying to say. So make sure that you are kind of letting your leveled reading go. And we are really wanting you to focus on skills specific to those foundational reading skills that you need. So starting with phonemic awareness, the alphabetic principle, phonics, fluency, vocabulary, comprehension. You need to have your anchors in your instruction and assessment in those areas, not in leveled kits, not in leveled libraries. Now, no book is a bad book and they still can be used for various things, but I want you to be really, really careful here. This is an area that I would encourage you to please explore so that you can feel very good about moving away from this type of instruction and into more of a skill-specific focus. What else do you have to relearn or unlearn? Not relearn, unlearn. This is a tough one because this is going to be so counterproductive. You have to unlearn hand raising. Don't ask your kids to raise their hand. This is a waste of time. And when you're working in a small group, you want every single student to be engaged every single minute. You have 30 minutes, right? 30 minutes with these kids, and you need to maximize that time. If you've got 5 kids and you're letting 1 respond, 4 others are sitting there. That's only 20% of your students are participating. Get rid of hand raising. Require choral responses, require things on whiteboards. Everybody answers all the time. If it's important enough for one student, it is important enough for another student and all students. So work on that one. Do not ask. And this is kind of funny because kids have hand raising ingrained in them. So if they want to talk to you, they're going to raise their hand. Now, in certain situations, if it's kind of a housekeeping moment and you're talking about personal kinds of questions, of course, that's more appropriate. But when we are talking about instruction, hand raising needs to go by the wayside, okay? So teach your students what this looks like in your small groups. Another thing, and this is the last one, I can think of a lot of them, but these, I don't want to overwhelm you right now. But the last thing I want you to unlearn is the need for a silent classroom. A reading intervention room should be buzzing with energy and activity and response and engagement with your students. It should never be quiet. Silent reading does not belong in an intervention classroom. Why? Because your kids are struggling readers. They will fake read. Don't do it. It's a waste of time. Okay. So get rid of leveled reading, hand raising, and the need for a silent classroom. Okay. Those are things for my experienced teachers that I want you to kind of move away from. All right. The next thing that I want to talk to you about is What are some things that you are going to have to start adding and learning as far as reading intervention goes? And we talked a little bit about the 5 pillars. Your reading intervention should be founded in the 5 pillars: phonemic awareness, phonics, fluency, vocabulary, and comprehension. Those are the big areas. One thing that I don't want you to do is I don't want you to think that reading intervention is taking a teacher's students and reteaching what the teacher taught that they didn't get. That is not intervention. That's intervention in the classroom setting. That's what the teacher needs to be doing. And maybe even a para or a co-teacher does that in there. But as a reading intervention teacher, your role should be exclusively to give kids the skills and strategies that they need to be proficient readers. Because if they're proficient readers, then they are going to be able to access all of those things that the teacher is teaching. So you might have to stand firm with your teachers. You might have to do some professional development here and kind of explain your role, but that is really important. Don't get sucked in to basically being somebody that just takes those kids at the back table in the same room. No, get out of the teacher's room, get your own room. You're focused on skills. Okay. The other thing I want you to start to wrap your head around is a school-wide approach to intervention. Now, this may take some time depending on where your school is in their rollout of RTI or intervention, but what you really want to look at is how can you get all teachers and your paras involved in working toward intervention every single day. This should not be well, we're going to do intervention Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Nope. They need every single day, or at the minimum 4 days a week. Okay. Monday through Thursday, minimum 30 minutes, but every single day in that room, not only for your students to have the consistency of the instruction, but now they own it. They own the time. Your teachers own the time. It becomes a habit. Everybody knows the value of that time period, okay? It is protected. Super important there. Another thing to start kind of toying with and thinking about is the idea of deployment. Deployment, platooning, whatever you want to call it, walk to intervention. This is really the way that you can utilize all of your people on your campus, get every single student in a grade level to go to the instruction, enrichment, or intervention that they need at wherever they are in their academic space, okay? That is really important. The other thing I want you to think about as you're starting to kind of grow as an intervention teacher is the potential of managing a team of adults. Hopefully you are not a lone soldier. If you are, we really need to talk to your administrator because you're just not going to be as effective as you could be if you had a team. So you want to get a few, 2, 3, 4 paraprofessionals under your direction that you can use to help roll out intervention instruction. And this is going to put you in a new position. You're no longer just a teacher, you are now a manager. And it gets a little uncomfortable. So start kind of wrapping your head around what that would look like. If it's just you, really, I would start to advocate for that particular need and growth in your school district. Then finally, I want you to start adding to your professional toolkit. And I have behind me a stack of things that I'm going to show you. And believe me, I had to really scale back. So I'm probably going to mess up the order, but I want to show you some things that I really think are beneficial to having, to ordering, see if your school will get them, see if you have them on your campus. But let's talk about some things to kind of for the school-wide approach. Now, I've had plenty of videos on this book already, The 10 Success Factors for Literacy Intervention. This is by Susan Hall. I interviewed Susan. I had Susan at our book club for the Reading Lab SOS group. It was awesome. What I like about this, first of all, you can see how tabbed up it is. This is a really easy read, and it will give you a really good look at the overall vision of what your reading intervention should look like. If you don't have this, this is a must-have. Okay, this is absolutely a must-have. Like I said, easy reading. It's only like 140 pages, something. It's a quick read. You can read it before you start back at school. Highly recommend it. Okay, the next one is, this is by David Kilpatrick, and it's The Essentials of Assessing, Preventing, and Overcoming Reading Difficulties. Now, this one is deep, okay? It's a little cerebral, but I love it because he takes what you know about instruction and really goes into the depths and some of the brain research behind reading difficulties and how we actually assess them. So I really think that this is a good one. This, like I said, it's a deeper read. You can see I don't have my glasses on. Let me see if I can find that. This one is more toward the 350 pages, but definitely something you need to have in your professional library. Okay. Now, another one, let's see. Okay, so these are going to be somewhat related to assessment. If you, first of all, you know you need to have a universal screener, and please don't let it just be an ARI or a leveled reading assessment that your teachers do. You need to have a universal screener. Ideally, you want to assess everyone in your school site. You may have to work toward that. But I've used Dibbles many, many years ago. And then I switched to Acadience. And I think it's Dibbles Next and Acadience, the first version, are virtually the same, but there's a lot of things now that are different. So this is the Acadience reading. Also, full disclosure, I'm a trainer now for Acadience. I love this assessment. I believe in it so much that I now go on and work with other schools and districts to help train their staff in how to give this. So if you do not have a strong universal screener, you have to get one. I recommend Acadience, but Dibbles, AimsWeb, those are the other two that could get the job done, okay? Another one that I think you need to have is the QPS. This is actually, I believe, online for free, Dr. Jan Hasbrook, and you have to have a phonics screener, diagnostic, whatever you want to call it. Once you screen your students, if they are struggling with accuracy, right? If they've got low accuracy and low decoding, you have to figure out why. And you really need to have some sort of a phonics assessment. And so I'll just hold this up so that you can see this. What I like about this one is it's a combination, here I am, a combination of words, real words, and nonsense words in isolation so that you can really get an idea how your students are doing with that particular skill. I also really like, this is one of my go-tos, the Teaching Reading Sourcebook. This is Core. Core also has an assessment that goes, you can see this is like a Mac Daddy. What I like about this one is when I'm feeling like I need to change the approach to a certain skill that I'm working on, I go to this, and it gives me some ideas on how to teach a skill the same way, but I mean, not in the same way. That's what I meant, differently, so that it kind of adds a little bit of novelty. So I really like that. And then finally, get yourself into some professional organizations, truly. I don't know if I did a video on this. I left the International Literacy Association a number of years ago because there was less and less about reading instruction in it. It wasn't what I was focused on. I left a number of years ago. I'm not, that's all I'm going to say, because I might not be very nice. But I love the Reading League. Okay, I'm going to cover my address there. I love the Reading League, and they have a journal now that is really dedicated to the science of reading. It's far more practical. This is a great organization to get involved with, okay? So, and if you're not following the science of reading groups, or what I learned in, what I should have learned in college Facebook group, The Reading Science Academy by Dr. Stephanie Staller is amazing. That's a membership. So you definitely want to get some things under your belt as you are planning this new approach, right? Because it's going to be new. And then I want to leave you with one more thing. Something that you will have to start your year with is assessment. Okay. So start working on your assessment calendar. Now, the first year you do this, it's going to take you a little bit longer. Hopefully you'll get into a groove as you move. I had a team of anywhere from 3 to 5, depending on my site, paras that helped me. And we would test, we would screen 500 and 600 kids in as little as 3 weeks. Now, that's with a lot of practice, okay? So it might take you a little bit longer. But you definitely want to start planning out a calendar, share it with your administrator. I suggest you get started, give your teachers a couple of days in school with the kids, and then you start like on day 3, because you don't want them missing too much class time. That's important. We always started school with kids on a Thursday. So the kids would be in class Thursday, Friday, and then Monday, that following week, I started assessing so that I could get it done, because you want to have your intervention open as soon as possible. So you've got to get your assessment done. And if you want to hear, guys, if you want to hear any other videos about how I can help you, if there's some particular direction, like what do you do with the data? But isn't that a great question? Go ahead and drop that comment, subscribe, email me, readingdiva06@gmail.com. I'd love to have the conversations. Join our Facebook group at Reading Lab SOS. Go to readinglabsos.com. You can get on my list so that you don't miss anything. And that leads me into what else I have been doing. Okay, so summer's been crazy. Some of you know I carry a number of different roles that I've really brought on myself. So I work with new teachers in California to plan and prepare for the RECA exam, which is the Reading Competency Exam in California. And that really does take up the bulk of my summer, because we're running workshops and I'm meeting with them often. I'm critiquing essays and that sort of thing. But with that, because I love that group so much, I've started another group called the New Teacher Success Network. And it is designed for new teachers within their first 3 to 5 years in the classroom, okay? Brand new. They might be student teaching, first year teachers. It's for K-12, SPED, Gen Ed, all of them. And it started as a group that I really was working with in the RECA, and I wanted to continue to support. And so I am getting ready and hosting a new teacher boot camp the first week of August to help these new teachers with things like organizing the classroom, lesson design, classroom management, icebreakers, that sort of thing. So if you have any new teachers at your site, this is across the United States, I would love it if you would share this information. The first week of August for 1 hour each day, we're going to be working on kind of a make and take type of activity. And you can see that site at newtsn.com. Much better than spelling out New Teacher Success Network. newtsn.com. And along with it, I know, because I don't have enough to do, right? I also started a podcast, and that also is geared toward my new teachers. And you are welcome to listen to it. Some of you are, you are mentors yourself. I would love your feedback. It is called the New Teacher Success Network podcast. I'll link everything in the show notes down below. And what I ask of you is you just share it. Give me some feedback and share it. My goal is to help this profession by making sure that our new teachers have the support that they need, our new intervention teachers have the support they need, so that we can do the best work for our kids and we can keep our teachers in the classroom. Turnover is very, very high, and it's a way for me to continue to give back, and I hope that you will help me with that. Okay, is that enough? I think this is probably one of the longest videos ever. So let me just start by saying, I've missed you. It's been a little while, I know. And it's, you know, but when I do my hair and makeup, I'm like, I need to go on camera. So thank you for what you do. If you need anything from me, please reach out. I love to hear your ideas. Again, if you will share that information that I'm going to link, I would be honored. And I hope all is well for you. Happy summer and bye for now.